Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again in this YouTube astrological segment. I'm going to be talking about transit Neptune Sextile or Trine, one's natal Venus. Now, this transit could manifest in dreams, inspiration, idealism, sacrifice, what you're fantasizing, being in harmony with your relationships and your significant friendships. And I'm going to elaborate and expound on that. The thing about this is now, you may have more inspiration than usual to do things, connection with your relationships and significant friendships. It's having that right amount of inspiration for these people to do activities that are associated with them. And if you're currently not in, a relationship like a love or romantic relationship, this is the time where the relationship that you may dream of may be something that has a better chance of manifesting into some kind of reality. I mean, there's no such thing really as a flawless or infallible connection with someone or that person that you could get involved with. It's not, that person will never be perfect or flawless, but it could be a time where you can find that person that might be ideal for you. If you have your natal Venus in Aquarius, say, it could be a person that might be a Sun, Moon, or Aquarius ascendant person or embody those characteristics. Could be somebody that's very unorthodox, eclectic, even ingenious. Someone that's very considerate, selfless, and altruistic, as some examples. And it might be a time as well where it can be where you can being able to look at friendships, important friendships and relationships, love, romantic connections with more idealism than you ordinarily would. It's not that you would completely overlook their transgressions or shortcomings, but it's a time where it's more of an opportunity for you to accentuate and emphasize the positive in those people in contrast to the negative. Now, it's also a time where it's more about being inspired, having that right amount of inspiration for love and doing the things you enjoy. At this time, what makes this a very good transit is that Neptune, can be about escaping, and Venus can reflect the things that we're enamored with, the things that we love to do, and it can include hobbies. Because there are things that you enjoy doing. Generally, hobbies are things that you like to do. If you have your natal Venus, say it's in Capricorn, it could be doing something with crafts or information technology. Maybe you like doing mathematical problems or mountain climbing as some examples. And it can be a time where you're more of that opportunity to escape, to be able to do these things, as opposed to having diversions or distractions and you trying to do so. Now, it's also a time where I would say it's more about having that idealism in making money at this time, and not going overboard, not to a point where you're completely unrealistic. I mean, if your income, say it's 50,000 a year, it's like you're probably not going to make $1 million that next year, the next calendar year. But the thing is, it's about being able to do, what you need to do, being idealistic, being inspired to make more money. And when you have the inspiration, you have more of an opportunity for yourself in order to do so in terms of generating more income. Now, this is a time too, okay, Venus is associated, anatomically speaking, with the throat, the neck, the thyroid, the lower back, kidneys, and esophagus. And if you have any issues that are going on with what I just stated that are anatomically connected with the planet Venus, this is the time where you're more apt to take care of them, because this is an auspicious transit. It's about having that right amount of inspiration to do so. If you procrastinated or hesitated on these issues, this is that time again. Having the inspiration, the right amount to take care of these problems, and also it's a time where you might be more idealistic regarding these matters, and it's like, without being unrealistic. If you're trying to, if you're going through, recuperation stage, or you're, say you got your lower back is has been thrown out of whack, if there's something wrong going on with it, and it might be, a time where maybe you're able to do some rehab and take care of the issue and be able to heal it. And being idealistic without being unrealistic in terms of how long it's going to take for you to recover from that, as an example. And the thing about this as well is that if you're dealing, say, with any kind of lawsuit or legal matter, if there's any legalities, anything that's connected with a legal issue, this could be more of a time to heal those matters at this time. It could be, whether you have to sacrifice more of your time in order to work on the matter. It can be, maybe it's a time where you'd be willing to compromise more, because Neptune is about forgiveness, surrender, and it doesn't mean necessarily like completely giving in, but it's a time where you might be willing to meet someone halfway. If there is something where you can negotiate, the situation, then you might be able to resolve the matter. If the natal Venus is in Taurus, it could be monetary related matter. If it's natal Venus is in the zodiac sign Cancer, it could be something over a home issue, a real estate matter. As some examples, Venus, if natal Venus is in Aries, it could be something that was physical, over physical confrontation. There might have been some assault issue. As some examples. Now, another thing too, this is also the time that makes this transit very auspicious as well, is the fact that Neptune again is about escaping, and solitude, seclusion, isolation, and it's that time where you have a good opportunity to be able to escape, to find your peace and tranquility at this time, and be able to go and be able to go somewhere and not be secluded, where you could be by yourself and not have distractions or disruptions to that, to you trying to attain that peace at this point in time. And I would say it's a good time for sleeping as well, because Neptune is connected to sleeping. Venus is about peace and it's comfort. So it's the harmonious aspect of that, I would say. And it's also a time for, I would say, if you're interested in art, artistic endeavors, it's a time where you could be more, have the right, be imaginative with that, and doing something and escaping to get away, to produce art at this point in time. If you have your natal Venus in Pisces, it could be some kind of abstract art, or maybe something that's fictional or fantastical. If the natal Venus is in Gemini, it could be like animated or cartoon artwork. And it's also a time, again, with Venus being connected with negotiation and compromise. This could be a positive time to be able to do so, because again, the fact that Neptune is associated with forgiveness, it's surrender, it's compassion, and it's making a positive aspect to the natal Venus, which is about compromise and negotiations. This goes back, can be tied in, like I was stating before, regarding legal matters, as an example. And it's a time as well where it's also could be positive for reconciliation with somebody because of this, because you may be willing to give in a little more to some degree in order to save, whether it's a relationship with a significant other or an important friendship at this time. And also, I would say as well that it's also could be propitious time for matters with self-worth, self-esteem, how you feel about yourself. It's about being idealistic and how you're going to improve that, whether it's through starting a real regimented workout program, an exercise program, being outdoors more, whatever it might be. Hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that, I'm back, but anyway. Well, another way this transit could manifest, it could be about having that right amount of inspiration, which is Neptune, again, to make money, which is Venus. And let's say, for example, if the natal Venus is in Pisces, it could be making money in the metaphysical, which includes astrology or poetry, dancing, photography, chemistry, fishing, as some examples. And also, too, this could be a positive time for dreams, which is Neptune, in finding, in doing things that you enjoy. And let's say if the natal Neptune is in Virgo in the 8th house, as an example, it could be, analytical, which is Virgo. It could be psychology or astrology, which is the 8th house. And another thing too, in making those dreams manifest into reality for what you want to do in your life and what you want to enjoy. Now, also too, another way this transit could be expressed, it could be that Neptune-related people may be more in harmony and agreement with what you value. When I say Neptune-related people, it could be people, Neptunian professions such as poetry, dancing, photography, the metaphysical, which includes astrology. And again, it could be those people could be more in harmony and agreement with what you value, which is Venus. If Venus is in Libra, as an example, it could be those values may include intellectual sociability, diplomacy, fairness, as some examples. And it's also a time where it could be very positive for escape, which is Neptune. Escaping, doing something you love, which is Venus. If the natal Venus is in Sagittarius, as an example, it could be going outdoors, sports, foreign travel, publishing, as some examples. And it's also a time where you could be more idealistic, which is Neptune, in matters in your relationships. So let's say if the natal Venus is in Aries, as an example, those relationships could be Aries, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant people, or simply embody those traits. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.